let's go ahead and do that. I've got my fan plugged in. We'll unplug that and we'll plug the lights in. Yeah. There we go. That looks a little better. Well, I've been sitting here late night with my kitties, and I decided to do a live for a few reasons. Well, the lovely Rachella has come to see us, so we'll start off with our ritual of. Now, the funny thing is they understand lives a little bit, and they understand I'm interacting with the world. And Rachella has not been up near me; she's been asleep. But as soon as I set up this live, usually, as I'm waiting on people to come in, I do this with her and I get her along. I support her back like this and we do this. So she came to fulfill her obligation for the live stream. And I find it kind of adorable. Like I said, she wasn't hanging out with me, she was near me sleeping, but as soon as we start the live stream, she's like, well, I need to come so he can grab me by my back and stretch me out. And this is Rachella's daughter. Yes, Zorabelle. Yes, and this is her baby girl. And that's Summer's granddaughter. And just like Rachella, she has a tail, even though the grandmommy doesn't. Let me get Chad up. Going down. Hello, bud. Like I said, no one's really expecting me right now, and I was just sitting here laying back. Now, I have a hidden vlog channel, and I did a few shorts for that a little while ago, and I also did a vlog, and I posted a video, and now on my storytelling channel, I've got enough memory back on this phone. This is the phone I use it for. It's an old 3G phone. So late night, I'm going to post another story on my story channel. Hello, Cass. Yes, Cass. People, now you've been here forever. Paula's crowd that hates Trisha, Rogers buying views. And as you know, I used to YouTube every day. And my numbers for a live are kind of my normal typical. So I just thought for the hell of it, we would come on and go live for just a little while and, just so I can make a little bit of a debunk for the stupid people. Well, actually, life, I can roof. I'm not great at it. Just saying. I can do the work. See, that's an interesting thing. My entire family had wicked carpentry skill. I'm kind of like a D. If you were to give someone a grade on being a carpenter, my family are like A's and A plus. No one is even an A minus. And I'm kind of like a solid D. Not a D minus. I'm not even a D plus though. Oh, hello, Eric. But yes, and I got cats sitting here looking at me. Well, thank you, Dave. Well, that's on another channel I'm doing vlogs on. This one we tend to talk more about drama or issues or now I'm going to evolve from that and start coming up with fun shit. Now, this is an impromptu live. I have absolutely positively nothing planned at all. So we're just going to wing it as we go, talk to Chad a little bit, and maybe I'll think of something funny to play. Well, I don't worry about their lies, Cass. I mean, it's just the drama community. Seriously. They make up lies all the time. That's why I show so much of the cats lately, because they go around saying my animals are abused, and as you see, they're not. The vlog I posted earlier on my vlog channel, Cass just saw it. She left a comment on it, and I'm laying here with cats draped all over me. And speaking, here comes another one. Come here, honey. Come here. Now, they all scream, your cats are inbred. Your cats are inbred. I've got one inbred cat. This one. Yes, her mother was Autumn. Summer's daughter, and she got nailed by Magnus, who was the uncle of Autumn. And I got homes for the rest of her litter, and this is my one little inbred kitty. And oh my God, she's so dumb. She is so dumb. She's so dumb I could not home her, put it that way. I just got to take care of her myself. Jago, honey, you're being knocked over by Jago Civitaria. You want to be seen too, Jago? Here's Jago Civitar. We got 2 boys in here tonight. Before I go to sleep, I put them out. But when I came in from hauling cat food today, I had a big pack, my hands full, and I had 2 boys run in on me. Well, that's the thing I hate Mondays. It used to be, it was not Monday. Let's put it that way. But, now that I'm officially disabled, one day for me is pretty much like another. I live out here in the middle of nowhere on 20 acres alone. I mean, other than a store clerk, I may only see a handful of people a month. Let me think. When's the last time I saw a person other than that store clerk? The 3rd of February. Other than one store clerk, I have only had, a friend show up on the 3rd of February. Someone shows up around the 1st of the month, and we go and get my place about 1,000 gallons of water. And that's what we did on the 3rd. And he'll show up on the 1st. We've already talked, and at the 1st, we'll go get a tank full of about 1,000 gallons of water for my place. So unfortunately right now I do not have hot running water, but it don't really matter because I can just boil water if I want it hot. Well, yeah, Tasha. I mean, it is. It's people suck. I mean, you don't really have to say much about it. Now. My nose is running and I need to catch it. And I knocked my. Now, hope I didn't accidentally block anyone when I knocked off the phone. No, yay. But yeah. Paula and all their crowd attacking Trisha, that's a lot of what unfortunately I'm having to do here is to defend Trisha and myself. I don't really care though, because their community's eating itself alive. But yes, supposedly I'm buying views. I mean, I don't advertise my appearances, but Saturday night I was on Ernie Shell's program on his channel, and there was about 500 in chat. I mean, it dwarfs what Trisha even gets in. I mean, I could have my link dropped wherever I go. I'm just interested in less drama subscribers, honestly. I'm interested in more normal people subscribing because on my other channels, I'm doing content for normal people. Hello, Carlos. How are you tonight, Carlos? Carlos, I have absolutely positively nothing to prepare. Actually, I have about a dozen channels, honestly. Now, on this one, I generally do drama. Now, the channel I'm moderating from is Roger Brown, the Walking Dude. And I do real life stuff there. And nobody gives a fuck. That's what I think's funny. I can talk about a 600-year-old fat woman here, or a 600-pound fat woman here, excuse me. I'm trying not to laugh some and do this at the same time. And I mean, I can get tons of views. But if I want to talk about the things that seriously affect your life, I might get 100, 125 views. And I kind of find it odd myself that, people's priorities seem to be totally backwards, which is why I was saying, I'd like a whole lot more of just regular, everyday people with everyday, regular interests as subscribers. So I am going to still do drama here, but I'm also going to try to find some fun things to do. Now, tonight I should have had a fun thing planned, but I was just laying here and it was a spur of the moment thing. I'm like, well, it's the middle of the night. I know I'll get a decent amount of viewers just coming in. And one of the reasons why I'm doing these lives in portrait is because I want new people to show up, subscribe, find some fun things to do, besides drama talk, because, well, for the new people, I get more death threats than anyone on YouTube. And there's this one chick, Elaine Miller. She's English with a ton of simps. One of them that's kind of like a 6.5, but catfishes herself to an 8.5. And her simps were threatening me. And it was hilarious. They were going to drive down my driveway in the middle of the night with no lights on. Gaslighting they were coming to do me harm. I mean, my driveway's like a quarter mile long. And each side is got 6 strands of barbed wire on it. So I'm like, wow, you're going to manage to come down my driveway in the middle of the night? I'm like, good luck with that. Because anybody that tries to come down my driveway without any light, they're going to end up in a ditch and entangled in 6 strands of barbed wire. And I would seriously fucking laugh. Tasha, Ernie's schizophrenic. Let me be honest, it's one reason why. You remember how I was never mean to Melton until I had to be mean to Melton? It's why I'm not mean or critical of Ernie. Ernie is sick, but Ernie can entertain a crowd. And that is really what this is all about, is entertaining crowds. So, if you see things that I say, this is why I entertain Ernie. So, when you have question marks in the future, you just remember that Ernie is sick. Now, he is untreated sick. He's never had any, how will we put this? Professional guidance. He's one of them that doesn't understand he's sick. So he goes on being sick. If you kind of get my meaning. We're like me. My disability is not physical. It's for complex PTSD. I can still whip ass with the best of them. That's where I think someone's like, old man, Al. I'm like, these people don't understand. I do all my laundry by hand. I walk miles to the store with a pack and carry shit back about every day to every other day. On Saturdays, they have like $5 off a $25 purchase. So when I can on Saturdays, I literally hump up and down the road constantly because every trip I make saves me $5. Well, Ernie, remember how Rich Life was doing on losing channel after channel? So's Ernie. Now, I will link, since you want to see it, I will link it in my channel on the community tab. So you'll have no trouble with it. But Ernie wants to get into the Boit. Now, Tasha, the Boit always is better if there's someone central to talk about controversial. And Ernie will fit that bill real well. He will be a wonderful Elvis Travels replacement. Yes. So, that's kind of the method behind my madness. Well, yeah, he's been alive a lot. And I could be over there on his panel right now, but, I just want to hang out with you guys. Like I said, I had nothing planned, not really serious tonight. I'm kind of touching base with everybody, wanting to meet some new people. And as we go, hopefully I'll come up with something interesting. And here is Richella come back to see us. So I guess it's a kitty night. You have 2 kitties right next to you. You have one on the back of the chair, and I have Summer that I'm literally touching her with my elbow from here. So we have like 5 cats just right here within arm's reach. And if we had one more over here, are you Caiaphas? No, you're Caiaphas. No, this isn't Summer, this is Caiaphas. But Caiaphas is just like his mother, except bigger and a boy. So yeah, now I might play some Ernie audio if he's live still a little bit later. But like I say, I'm just kind of here to talk right now and work my way into something fun for a while. Well, I'd need less. Magnus is going to a dairy because so many of these cats are related to Magnus now at this point, and where people talk about cat this, about every farm around here has a cat colony. Now, the Amish near me have a dairy. And oh my God, they've got over 100 cats. No shit. Guessing about 125, 150 cats at the Amish dairy. Now, these cats at the Amish dairy, they are heavily inbred. So that's when I talked to one of them at the store, and I'm going to drop Magnus there probably within this next month. And he's going to go around and make kittens that aren't quite inbred. But Richella, she's not related to Magnus. Now, these young girl kittens, Magnus is their father. So, yeah, we can't have any of that. Now, Magnus is also not related to Summer in any way. Summer is only related to her children here. And I keep them far away from her, and I'm going to get them fixed, when I can get the transportation to. My dinner is wanting to burp up. Since I can't afford all the things that I used to, I found that, I can't afford all the junk for tacos. I can afford meat, cheese, and the shell. But I found if you take a sour cream and onion dip and just put a little bit of that onto your taco, it is excellent. It's much better than sour cream. Just saying. And it adds something to your tacos. So I had tacos here in a bit, so occasionally you will be seeing me do that. My apologies. Now, if anybody's got any questions or anything they want to talk about, feel free. Like I say, I might find some funny audio here in a minute to go into, and I don't really feel like characters tonight. Now, if my missing love of my life shows up, you're going to get to see a scene. Yes, you are. Since this is a drama channel. Well, actually, Tasha, if someone picks out a cat, I can tell you their entire lineage. Yep, except Summer. Summer did not come from my place. She just kind of was brought in. Now, my old cats have been passing on. Tasha, I've not talked about it on YouTube, but you remember how a couple years ago I said my old cats will be passing on because they're past life expectancy. And they're all gone now but 2. 2 of the boys, and both of them are fixed. Tiger and Gandalf. Those 2 old ones are still alive, and I'm looking at Gandalf from here. Because he's fixed, he can be in. Now, an interesting thing about Gandalf, I couldn't keep him in. During the cold weather in the last couple of years, he kept running out in the Arctic cold. When it got sub-zero, I couldn't get him in. I had a bunch of blankets that I made him a blanket fort in the barn because he wouldn't come in for me at all. He would just run away. But it's kind of funny, but about a week and a half ago, he ran in the house and he's not got out since. When he used to be in the house all the time, he would run out every chance he could And like I say, you could never get him in. Now you could not get that cat out of here with dynamite. But Tyranny ran off. I do not think she's alive. Now, once again, I don't say everything, but Tyranny had a bad habit of attacking the other cats. And she attacked Taylor Autumn. And Taylor Autumn whipped the holy hell out of her. And then Tyranny went over to the neighboring colony. But Tyranny used to steal kittens. And I think that's how Summer got in here. Because, I kind of had to be subjective. I'm not even sure how she ended up on the property or in the house. But yes, I've got on another channel a video of Tyranny stealing kittens. And Satin is the last one that passed, and she just passed recently in the last, well, a few days after Christmas. I was about to say in the last couple months, but, sitting here remembering it, yeah. Yeah, on Christmas morning, she was sitting right here, and a couple days later, she was gone. But, once again, it's the heart that was getting them. Now, Tyranny had cancer, and Attila had cancer. Now, I only can theorize about this, but when they were young, they always got flea treatments every month. Because, I wasn't always financially strapped. I used to spend like $80 a month just on flea treatment. But these old cats, when they were young, they got that flea treatment every month. And about half of them ended up with cancer. Now, I can't say for sure, did A cause B? But, my old cats, half of them died from their hearts and age, and the other half died of cancer. I found out, first about Sissy's cancer. She passed the July before last. And she was pretty ate up. And there was nothing they could do. And she stayed pretty comfortable to the end. And she lived a couple years longer with it than anyone thought. But, like I say, my old ones have passed on. And 5 of the kittens I found homes. And I still have 5 of them. And like I say, here's one right here, Zora Bell, the baby Bell. She's sweet, aren't you? Oh, grabbing my face and grabbing my nose. And she's a big kissy baby. Now, she's the tiny one that needs protected, but she's the one that loves outside the most. When she gets a little bigger in a couple months, I'll let her roam and do her thing outside, but she's really good outside. Now, the one that is inbred Scarlet, well, that cat's dumb. I mean, so I treat that cat with kid gloves because she does things that, would normally get a cat in big trouble. But like I say, now that's Zorabelle. Scarlet the inbred is kind of like over to the side of you giving a wash. Well, yeah, Tasha, it's something that I really, hadn't talked about on YouTube, because how these people are. But, that is what I think. I think that high dollar fleece shit that I was giving them for the year, the first 3 or 4 years of their life, I think that was causing cancer. And my mother had a big, large white cat that died of cancer at about 3. And it was bad. I had never seen a cat so bad. Mine, when they had it, they went ahead and they lived their lives, except for, where I knew the tumors were. You'd never know there was a problem with them. But that cat of my mother's that got cancer, I tried to get her to put him down again and again and again and again and again, and she wouldn't. But, you know, my mother was, wow. My mother was interesting to say the least. She was a huge ball of contradictions and codependence. Honey, can you go away, baby? She says, no, I'm not going to get out of the way. And she's my tiny sweetie. And she took after Summer in size because Summer is just an utterly tiny cat. But I'd say that most people are now the way I have this, the interesting story about this. You see these shelves sitting here? They are much older than you think. They come from probably, let me see, we moved to Reading when I was 3. So these shelves are about 52 years old. They're an aluminum shelf that's about 52 years old. I mean, they don't make shit this good anymore. This was in my childhood room growing up. And it's still a wonderful piece of furniture today. Now, an interesting thing, I've got a heater on the top of it. I've got a hot plate I keep here. I have a toaster oven here. And on this other shelf, I've got a crock pot. So I am sleeping in my game room because I can keep it warmer in here. And I've got everything here right next to me to make any killer dinner that I want. And I don't even have to get out of the bedroom. Cass, it was, turns out that was the biggest mistake of my life. That is what led me to where I am here. In 2003, me and my mother had a big fight of me saying, after 2 years of taking care of her, that I'm going back to work now. And she had such a super fucking meltdown and got her way, I didn't. And that's what lands me here the way I am today. And I don't care. I did the right thing. Now, an interesting thing is that I thought was weird. My first therapist in Kentucky told me that I should have pulled the plug on my mother when she was on life support. I mean, that was kind of funny because at that point, I'm looking at that therapist like she just grew 2 heads. Yes, I mean, I still have to laugh at that, and that's why I'm telling this story, because the therapist was basically telling me that I should have killed my mother. Here's Summer. Yes, here's Summer. All right. Now, usually you see happy Summer. That's what Summer acts like to me if she doesn't want me to do something. She'll just shrug away from me and go, ew. She's a brat. I mean, normally YouTube doesn't get to see it, but my Summer is a total brat. She won't even eat with the other cats. I don't want to eat with these people. She has to have her own little bit of food set aside specifically for herself. Damn, I am over full with cats today. Now here's Beck's Jago Scimitar. With it, I've now got 6, actually every cat but Gandalf in the house. I guess I have 7 in the house right now. Yes, and everyone but Gandalf is literally up my butt. Well, my mother came out brain damaged. My mother came out brain damaged bad. You couldn't tell it at first, but I didn't know it, but she completely screwed up the family finances behind my back. I mean, she created a total disaster to where in the end, we didn't even have the money to bury her. I had to bury her with a shovel. I mean, Hey. Now, we just witnessed child abuse. This is Jago. Now, the one that committed the violence was Richella. Richella just beat up her baby son, honey. And this is one reason why this cat loves me to no end. Now, Cass, you saw this cat laying on me. This is why that cat lays on me. Because his mommy was always so mean to him. He loves me so much. And then I'm trying to think when it was about 2000, sometime in 2000, I think it was Easter. I think it was Easter 2009 or 2010. My mother had a stroke and ended up paralyzed on one half of her body. And then not just regular caregiving, I had to basically become her nurse at that point. And that sucked. Hello, Devlock. But like I say, anything you people want to talk about, just throw out in the chat. We will digress. I'm just bullshitting so the new people know a little bit about me, and I'm talking about shit that I normally wouldn't talk about on YouTube tonight. That's kind of what I'm doing for the regular crowd. Is I'm talking about the life shit that I normally would say it's none of YouTube's business. Now, it was 71 degrees here today. And tomorrow looks like it's going to be a good day too. And if it's not too windy, we may have a live outside during the day tomorrow. And I'll have a topic and shit. This cat is trying to... There's no room next to my leg, and he's trying to dig a hole. I mean, this cat is not inbred in any way, but I was like, dude, you're so dumb. If I didn't know his entire family lineage, I would swear he is so stupid. Oh yeah, it's going to be like 60 something tomorrow. Let me, this is my phone with the good weather on it. Huh. I got a notification about myself. It's 63 now. At 12:12, it is 63 degrees. 3 a.m. it's going to be 61 degrees. At dawn, it's going to be 57 with a chance of rain. And today's high is going to be 68 with a low of 57. And it looks like we've got a chance of rain until around 1 o'clock. So I guess that means we won't have that live outside if we have the rain. Excuse me. You're being knocked over by a cat butt. It looks like the spring rains are going to start here. Thursday, it's going to get down to 25 with a high of 48. And that's our cold day. Sunday and Monday, it's supposed to have a chance of rain and get up to 72. Then it's going to be in the low 60s for the next few days after that. So yeah, I mean, we're having some unbelievably good weather here. I don't know, Deblock, what is gigantic and no one talks about? I'm usually pretty good at getting those things off the top of my head, but not tonight. Oh yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying the weather. Now, see, normally I don't do much YouTube during the spring, but it's been so warm in January and February, I've got almost all of my farm chores done for the spring already. So I'm just planning on kicking back on the spring, doing a bunch of YouTube, and enjoying my life. I mean, I've never been, at this time of year, I have never been so far ahead on my chores. So I'm going to enjoy it, which is why you guys are going to get some outside lives. And since YouTube's not filing a ton of, you're being ran over by some honey. People don't want to see your cat butt, just say it. Well, I just farm hay here, and it makes it pretty easy for me. Now, I am farming food for me now. You know, the whole groceries being fucking ridiculous. Yeah, I'm doing some subsistence farming. I've got a whole bunch of potatoes over here sprouting in a bag. And as soon as the weather gets to where it's above freezing all night, I've got a mattock out there and I'm going to go out and plant those potatoes. And then each one of those potatoes will turn into a dozen potatoes. Well, there's about a dozen here, and we'll start showing. This is Summer. She's a Manx. She has no tail. She is the mommy of the rest of these here. She is a tiny, tiny girl kitty. Now, this is Caiaphas. He's about 10 months old. And this is her boy. And as you see, he looks just like her, just a boy. And he also has no tail. Now, Caiaphas is named after a Warhammer 40k character. And this is Jago Sevatarian. And he also is named after a Warhammer 40k character. And he is Rachella's son. And Rachella is Summer's girl. And one more kitty within reach. Excuse me, honey. Excusums. Excusums. It's okay, honey. It's okay, baby. This is the one inbred kitty, Scarlet. She too has no tail, and it's Summer's granddaughter. And this is Autumn's kid. And Autumn got banged by her uncle. And I got the rest of the litter homes, but this one's stupid. I mean, no one would want this kitty. Like I say, she's a bit of a problem at times, but she doesn't mean to. But, just like any other person with a handicap, I just give her leeway and clean up after her because she's a silly little cat. Rachella, you want to come here and be seen? Chella, it's you. I see you. Come here, puppy. Come on. And this is Jago's mother, Rachella. And Rachella, of course, is Summer's daughter. There you go, honey. So, you can kind of see where he gets his color from. And Magnus is the father of Caiaphas. He's the father of all the little kitties. Now, Rachella's father, he was a feral. And I called him Moonglum, after a character in a book series. Because they're a Manx. They're a specialty kitty. They're a breed called Manx, M-A-N-X. And now this one has a tail. Rachella has a tail. Rachella's father had a tail. Oh, we got a held message. Apparently one of my haters have come up. Now, no, I am not into bestiality of cats. I live in Appalachia. I mean, a woman is easy to get here. They cost $20. Now, I don't go around soliciting prostitutes because I don't have to. But that's why I laugh on the internet. Because, I mean, if your dumbass wanted a piece of ass around here, $20 for a hot chick. We have a thing here called meth moms. Yes, and they're typically normal women that get involved in drugs and then sell themselves so they can get their daily fix. Now, the funny thing is if I could find any of these kitties' homes, now I would keep Summer, I would keep Caiaphas, and I'd keep Rachella, but if I could find the rest of them homes, I would get them homes. Well, I mean, Well, once again, I'm here to address some of the rumors and just hang out tonight. Like I said, I've got nothing really planned. And I didn't really believe his question was an evil. Because if I did, I would have blocked him. It's easy and hard to get blocked here all the time. Typically I don't block people for an honest question. Because once again, I've been slandered left and right. I mean, these dumbass old women on the internet, they only could wish they could have me. Just saying. I mean, I live a pretty good life out here, all in all. I don't have all of the creature comforts. But one thing I do have is security. I mean, I've got a pond over there that's 26 foot deep with thousands of fish in it. Hello, I clipped. Well, good to meet you. Well, that's what we're here to do. We're here to talk to new people tonight, get to know some people, and as I said, normally I do drama here, but I'm trying to expand out because with the new streaming format, people are going to be coming in, and I'm going to start trying to do streams just for entertainment value, for fun. Now, my name is Roger Brown. In the drama community, I thought about it. I'm like, well, I'm going to get doxxed at some point anyway, so I might as well just use my real name. And now and then, you may even see my address spammed in chat. Like they think that that's going to bother me. Now, where I live, they try to swat me. I mean, they try to do everything they can to have me literally killed because they don't like my opinion on YouTube. But I am completely insulated from their bullshit. My cops don't SWAT. They take my number or take my address, they call the police and they make up all sorts of stuff to try to get them come in here guns blazing. And never once have they been here. Well, actually, Eric, cocaine is it's just an upper. I mean, really, it's not all that. Now, a bit of Roger background. When I lived in Cincinnati, I used to sell drugs. I mean, cocaine is not all of that. Meth is a much more intense drug, honestly. But the only thing I do is I smoke marijuana for my seizures. I'm gonna pull my hair back. I lost my hair clip. Normally I pulled my hair back before the stream because I was ready to go to bed. And then I just decided to do a stream. But yes, I've lost my hair clip. Now, an interesting thing here. Remember I said the cops are not coming? They also threatened to call me in pizzas. And I promised I would kiss them if they did. Because I live with no pizza delivery. I mean, the closest a pizza comes to me is about 8 miles away. I mean, it's like, fuck. Because, I would eat anything on a pizza. So, I don't have to worry about them sending me some kind of fucked up pizza I wouldn't eat. But there's been some nights I've sat here with money and it's like, damn, I wish I could get a pizza or something. I'm like, if only they could call me in pizzas. Come here, honey. You're in the way. But I mean, they can't call me in pizzas. I'm disabled and I'm my own boss here on the farm. So it's not like they can call my job and, did you know that Roger Brown, blah, 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 blah. Now, the funny thing is Roger, back when I used to work, I used to sell my boss's weed. Every job that I ever went through my entire life, I was selling my boss weed. And I always liked that when it's like people to go up and try to get you in trouble with the boss and and you're your boss's weed connection. I mean, it don't work out for them. And I've always laughed about that. Now, the funny thing is I could always used to sell the hell out of pot, but I'm not very good growing it. Now, I know a few guys that do grow it, and last year I got some tips. And that's still what I'm smoking right here. They gave me a few tips, and I am allowed to legally grow a few plants. So I grew a few plants, and I've been smoking on it since October. I'm almost out now. Can't really shit on YouTube, but yeah, I got that much left in the jar. Well, actually, Jay, my mom's dead. I buried her with a fucking shovel. I mean, no shit. You know, I dug my mother's own grave. It was quite an experience. Now, actually, this is, medical quality, because that's what we grow around here. It's quite good. It was just harvested around early October. Now, you got anything else you want to mouth off about? Yes. There's some that aren't so. Now, you remember how I told you that I used to sell drugs? Well, one of my old buddies, he always shows up here in the middle of the fucking night. You see, in my youth, I was always up all night. So, to him, since we've known each other since we were younger, he just still shows up here in the middle of the night, just like we're teenagers. And many times he will have one of these women with him. Because I have two trailers. I have a trailer here, and I have another trailer over there with 2 bedrooms. So, many times I have a friend that will bring over his whore of the moment. And they're usually doing dope. All honesty, they're usually doing dope. And they're usually pretty high as hell. And they go over there. And I mean, if I wanted to demean myself, I just say women are $20 here. I don't pay for women, but I mean, if I ever wanted to, I mean, it's just $20. And it's because where I live, like, the migrant crisis they talk about on there, that it's been forever here. I mean, we are a transit point here for going to the Northeast, and our community's been trashed since the mid-90s. So, we've had like over 25 years of everything going downhill, being flooded with illegals. And they get a few bus loads in New York, and all of a sudden they're freaking out like it's the end of the fucking world. But that's one of the reasons why that it's like that here. I mean, it's so economically destitute, just for a little bit of methamphetamine, $20 worth, beautiful women sell themselves. I wish we lived in a better place. Now, I do know the prettiest whore around here, honestly. Her name is Desiree, and she and I are friends. And I guess it's been a couple years now, but she and I used to hook up now and then. Of course, I didn't have to pay. But that's how it is. But she would just show up here, and I'd have weed, and she'd have some other stuff, and we'd basically have a party. And that only really stopped when I got a girlfriend who may or may not show up at this live because she ghosted me about 6 months ago and showed up in my last live for a minute, and she was supposed to contact me and never did. And if she shows up in this live, oh my God, there's going to be a fucking scene. You know, I try to avoid that on YouTube. Now, it's kind of funny because everyone keeps saying that, truthfully, Trisha's sending me naked pictures, or truthfully, Trisha's my girlfriend. I'm just a friend and a mod on her channel. I mean, that's it. I used to cover her years ago when she was doing bad behavior. And now we're good friends. But, you know, where Trisha's had mods melt down and do insane shit, so have I. I mean, right now there is only one wrench on this channel because I've had to remove them all because people are fucked up, which I'm sure you've kind of figured out on your own. There was one. So supposedly, and now you're a full loser. You can't even spell loser. You put it looser. There's only one O in loser. Oh man, I find it funny. I do. I gotta find it all funny. Now I do. Now one thing I do like is when people come in here and try to make a scene because I can turn them into comedy. But like I say, today's just more of a kind hangout. You know, everything don't have to be about drama. Everything don't have to be serious. This is just more of a kind of get to know me. You know, you get to see me with unfiltered, without a presentation, or talking about other people's bullshit. We talk about my bullshit. Now, there's not much bullshit in my life because, I mean, I just don't do much to cause bullshit. Now, once again, people will slander me up one end and down the other, and I don't care. I just look out every morning at that beautiful sunrise, and I'm good. I got there in the middle of her workout. But excuse me, Jago, I want to show something. Jago, honey, get up, honey. I want to go show and tell. But yeah, I came in late to her live because I had gone to the store. And my backpack is still over here. Because after I packed cat food, Miles, I put my butt down and have not moved. But this is my backpack. This is what I carry down the road. And people try to say I don't do this. Now, if I open up this backpack, you can see this giant bag of cat food in it. So, I mean, this is what I have to do every few days. I'll be going down that road with a giant bag of cat food. And I do that with the cat food about 10 times a month. And then about another 10 times a month, I go for my stuff. My nose is running and I can't catch it. Now, as I'm getting older, I'm getting a little bit of allergic. Unfortunately, I'm getting a little bit allergic to the cats. And that's one of the reasons why I keep having to blow my nose. Because we've got like 4 of them like right here under me. And it's just itching my nose to death. Now, come on, is there any more hate, Jay? I mean, is that all you can do? I mean, Milton John usually threatens to cut my head off. Let's see if I can find something fun. I mean, I've got a long history on YouTube. But see, usually I cover people that are a bit more dangerous. You know, I've had people show up here to try to attack me before, which didn't work out for them. Let me see. What do I want to go to? Well, Milton's always good for a laugh. Milton's not threatened to kill me in about a year. So, you know, it kind of. Oh, God, you're mad. Richello is smacking her son again. And that's one reason why that poor little dark cat loves me so much. His mommy is just so mean to him. This one. Oh, yes, this one's where Melton John was fantasizing about the LGBT takeover of the world. Now, Melton John is a trans trender. He pretends to be trans, but he's not trans.
So from that.
And yes, and this is Melton John.
Now on, because it's true, mind you, I did win that contest a while back on who would be the leader of the Juggalos. And I beat Cyrax in the polls. That was one victory I can hold in my name where I was an underdog and I got that. I was an underdog and I got that. Okay? And it happened. And I'll tell you what, since that happened, I'm going to reflect back to that a little bit. And I'm going to start off here, you see.
Now, once again, Isaac comes in and says that he is doing impure things. Well, he can do impure things and watch Melton.
And I have Fago Cola right here. I got lots of Fago Cola yesterday. I got a lot, all right? I got the Fago root beer. I got the Fago Cola right here, representing my Juggalo game on, you see? See what I'm saying right there? I got it today. No worries about that. No worries about that. I got all of it. Okay. What I wanted to say here is what I've discovered in my time being in this community. A useful thing. The one thing that this community is good for, I think, right? Is if a slave owner is doing is going to recruit from this community to be slaves on the plantation where they're trying to get ahead, you know? Some of the best slaves could be right down here in this community. Whether I start the plantation or someone I hook up with starts a plantation and I help them run the plantation. That's what's going on here, you know?
Yes, Melton John is going to be the boss of the plantation and he is going to make you slaves. Now, this is one of the maniacs that threatens my life.
I'm gonna really say this right now, okay? That don't get too cocky, everybody, because you're being recruited for slaves. When slavery does get legalized again, it's going to be you people that are going to be picking cotton this time. It's going to be all of you.
Yes, now you see, he's basically, when he says you, he means the straight people. Yes, when he's fantasizing about slavery becoming legal and putting normal people on the plantation, and Melton's gonna be our boss.
Let's just say that right now. All you think you're funny. You ain't funny. You think you're funny, but you're not funny. You know what I mean? Whether it be funny ha-ha or funny queer, I don't know. You take your pick. But either way, I'm just going to say right now that you all made me do this. You made me do this. And John Camillo, hey, come pillow. Scamillo, come pillow. Yeah, you're going to have your hands full if you're going to try to get me arrested. You're going to try to get someone, you're a clown. You should put the very same makeup that I'm putting on, yet I'm...
Spoiler, Milton got arrested. Yes, that's why Milton has not been around YouTube. Yes, Milton got arrested. And, well, apparently he decided to threaten a cop like he threatens me. And that landed him in jail. And then he's so nutbag, they sent him to a mental institution. And that's where he spent the better part of a year. And now apparently he is out and he is at his parents' house, and he's apparently on, shall we say, not allowed to get on the internet and do his thing anymore. And you definitely wouldn't want Milton. Now, one of the funniest things I ever saw in my life, as you can see there, Milton does not look like a girl at all. And you saw what Milton did to his face. Now, if you recall Milton anything but a pretty princess, he will threaten your life to no end. But I don't know if Tasha's still in here, but one of the funniest things that I ever saw was a trans individual basically dissing our dear Milton. And it was like one of the funniest things in the universe. Well, how do I know them? Well, you see, there's a community called the Boit. Now, fortunately or unfortunately for you, you have found a gateway into the Boit where I am. And the Boit is the bottom of YouTube. Congratulations. You have gone all the way down the algorithm and you have found the worst community in YouTube. Now, it is a shell of its former self because it mainly ate each other and destroyed most of the channels. I used to have a much larger channel I did Boit coverage on. But I mean, I don't even really care anymore about the drama. I'm just here for the fun. Now, Milton is one of my... You know how Batman has his supervillains? Well, I too have my supervillains. And occasionally those supervillains will get talked about. Now, where I have already defeated Trans Joker, I am currently fighting She Penguin. Yes, Jeremy's mom. And if you're wondering what she's the mom of, a fucking bird. She can't have kids, so she got a bird and named it Jeremy. And she's so, well, I'm trying to think of words that are not against terms of service, and I'm finding that everything that wants to come out of my mouth could actually be reported. So you have to give me a minute. She's a fucking nutbag. Yes, I can say that. She's a fucking nutbag that stalks Truthfully Tricia. And yes, as I said, you know, her son is a bird. A fucking parakeet. And she is one of Truthfully Tricia's enemies, and she's my version of the penguin. Well, Jago, honey, what are you doing? Jago, what are you doing? He's sitting here digging in a Dollar General bag. Jago, honey, stop, honey. Jago, what are you doing, honey? What are you doing? Oh, I think he's got something that's playing with it. You know, they will find anything and just slap it around. I think he put something on a Walmart bag, so, you know, if you hear some odd things to the side, it's Jago playing. What is D's? Just saying. Excuse me, Chella. I gotta go get your son. I'm gonna put a couple of these guys out of here. Please, dude, stop. You're digging at the garbage. You're gonna get it knocked over. Yes, because Jago was just about to knock over my garbage can. And I'd rather not have to pick up garbage, so, Jago's ass had to get out of here. Because despite him being 10 months old, he acts just like a little fucking kitten. Well, how do you like these blocks? And while you're at it, you can lick my balls. Also, just saying. I mean, I don't give a fuck on YouTube. And once again, if you want to be an immature child, you can just get your ass blocked. Because there's going to be fun shit here at different times. And there's even going to be hot chicks if you follow me. And thinking about it, because I started to do it tonight, but I didn't. I started to go onto Grace Thorpe's channel. Now, I used to co-host with Grace Thorpe, and she's an attractive 21-year-old lady. And oh my God, the amount of hate. See, the funny thing is she was going around and trying to find a new co-host. Well, because I can. Yes, I cuss because reasons. But yes, many people got bent out of shape because when she went on her co-host search, she picked me. Because once again, I can be entertaining. And in fact, I can give like 15-minute presentations on most things, which is a lot of times what I do here, is I will pick a subject and we will hit it from all its angles. Well, because it's my channel, Enchanted, and I can say whatever the fuck I want. Matter of fact, I can go fuck, fuckity, fuck. Fuck it. Hello, Russian country ball. Yes, I do live alone, other than these small furry creatures. These small furry creatures. This is a small furry creature. Now, this is also known as the cat with no bones. Look, honey, see, I got no bones. I'm a boneless kitty. My cat has no bones. Do you, honey? Not got no bones, one? Could you tell me? I got no bones. I need my bones back. And she's just like a big baby. No, I'm not gay. I mean, it would fix a lot of my life if I was gay. Now, I'm sitting here waiting on the missing girlfriend that ghosted me to pop back in and gaslight that she didn't ghost me. Now, matter of fact, if you've been on this channel, my relationships are extraordinarily interesting. I have had 3 girlfriends since I started YouTube. Now, the first 2 were both dominatrixes. The relationship was so short, I don't even really like to count it as a relationship, but for the official scorecard, because of other people whining, I count it. Now, the other dominatrix, she was a very professional one, and I was her boyfriend, not a client, and oh my God, she was bipolar beyond your human imagination. She was also rich, and I used to go to Philadelphia from Kentucky to visit her. But wow, was she fucking nuts. And her daughter was more nuts. Well, Piker, I worked with them from the very beginning. In fact, I was there when they were all born. And like I say, they've been worked with. Now, once again, I don't bring this to YouTube, but I am really good with animals. I am really good at training animals too. Now, that might be something, you know what I was just thinking about? I've got a tiny vlog channel, and I think I'll do that. because I've had people occasionally ask me exactly what you did. So yeah, I think I'll do that on my vlog channel. Is I will show you the little things that I did to work with them when they were babies, to get them to where they're like this. No, I do not sleep with my exes. Right now, I'm sleeping with nobody. Yep, I'm keeping my shit to myself. Well, yeah, if they're abused, they're always going to be skittish. Now, a couple of mine are wild. Like I mentioned Gandalf earlier, one of my old ones. He's pretty wild. You can't pick him up and do things, but his mother was a feral. So, he's got a lot of wild in him. Now, Richella's father was a feral, but he was pretty chill for a feral. And then Summer's the mother, and she's my big giant baby. And she just ran in one day. She lived under the couch, and she and I made friends. I was sleeping in the master bedroom. This is the game room I've been sleeping in because it's winter, smaller room to heat. But in the master bedroom, the door would be cracked open. She would run in, and this little tiny orange thing with no tail, she would hop all over my head from about dawn until about 8:30 in the morning. And then she would pass out on me. And after that, I became her adopted mother. Well, yeah, now, that is my vlog channel. I don't do much on it, but I am now. And it's just a tiny channel. And I'm going to show, once again, you gave me a really good idea for content. And thank you. Once again, the vlog channel is supposed to be about my life, and I can separate YouTube from here, my drama bullshit. But yes, if you want to subscribe to that channel, I will over time, get kitties out here and show you little techniques that I did. Because a lot of it is down to building trust. That's the way it is. And that way also I can interact with people in comments, and then I can give them tips. So yes, thank you. I think that will be great. And I put it that odd name because I really didn't want many people to know about the channel. I wanted it to be a well-kept secret, but I'm sure you would be interested in it. But that's it. It's only got about 94 subscribers, and it doesn't get many views at all. But that is a real look in my life. Now, on this live right here, we are talking a little bit more like it's my vlog channel, honestly, though I am throwing a little bit of drama in. Hello, Midnight Cat. Well, actually, I don't have the ability to panel right here. Yes, no one can join in right now because, I don't have anything like StreamYards up. I'm streaming from a itty tiny phone. Yep. And now this iPhone probably could, but I'm not using it for the live. Now, I usually don't do panels, but, it's occasionally I will. Because when I start co-hosting or doing things with Grace Thorpe again, then I'll start doing panels. Grace Thorpe has 4,610 subscribers. Trying to find a good picture. Oh, she's a goblin. She's 21 years old. And on her channel, I used to be her co-host. And I'm in contact with her, and it's likely that I will be co-hosting on her program. So this will be one of my YouTube gigs. Now, I am currently modding for Truthfully Trisha. And let's see if I can find a good picture of her. Okay, I found an interesting picture. And this is Trisha. Trisha during her workout today. And her workouts get an unbelievable amount of like and hate. And usually I'm modding on her channel. Now her channel is getting near 50,000 subscribers. So you know that's where I spend a lot of my YouTube time at, is modding on her channel. Oh, I guess she pulled down the live. She did one live where she'd had some makeup on and did a big spin around. But I guess she pulled that one down. But yeah, she's at 49,100 and something. And she has a several-year-old channel, and she and I are going to do some content together. Now, she wants to get into doing reactions, and I am a professional reactor. So, you know, that's one thing that we're going to do on her channel. It's not going to be a common thing, but just every now and then we're going to have a live over there, and I'm going to co-host with her, and we're going to talk about interesting shit. Usually I'm just over on her channel blocking people that are assholes. Hello, Derbeat. But, you know, those are two of my current YouTube gigs. Now, the other thing is on Ernie Shell's channel, Lightning Tiger, you will find me now and then, and I will be doing panels with him ever so often. I've co-hosted with him unofficially a few times. And Ernie gets some pretty big lives, 400 or 500 people in them, despite having a smaller channel. He is a person currently of great interest. But you know, those are basically three places outside of my channels that you will find me. Now, I have some smaller channels that I enjoy, but I mean, they really don't get subscribers, but I put as much work into them, if not more, than this channel. I have a tiny wargaming channel with like 30 subscribers. Now, the hard part for me was getting a name that didn't conflict with anybody else's name. And so far, I've had like 3 name changes, and they all have conflicted with someone else's channel. But I am going to rename the channel Ultimate Gaming or Ultimate Games. I'll probably go with Ultimate Games. And I create unique war games. Now, I have 3 buildings here. One of them is a huge barn, and it has a huge loft in it. And I have constructed a 9 by 27 foot gaming table. So, I mean, that's 9 times 27. I mean, that's about a 220 square foot gaming table. And I conduct large scale war games on it. And that's one of the, as I say, that's one of the channels that I do with almost no subscribers. And I put 10 times the effort into that nothing channel as I do this one. Now, on another channel called Thanatos Magus, I play a character and I tell stories. And that channel has only got about 150 some subscribers on it. But once again, I put far more effort into that than I do here. Now, in fact, this is an old 3G device with limited memory. And when its memory comes back, I record something for that channel and put on it. And this is all charged up, ready to go. And after this, I'll clean myself up and then I'll shoot a video for that one and I will finish a part of the background series that I'm doing. And then after the background series, then I'm going to start telling stories about the character that I've done the background series on. So, that's another thing that I am going to be doing. I hate it when it knocks me off this. I like the new live format, but it's real easy to take me off. Now, anybody got anything, questions or anything you really want to talk about? I mean, I'm open topic to bullshit about anything. Like I say, this is a kind of get to know me, and I'll field questions now that I normally wouldn't. Now, if anybody's wondered why I smoke a little pot on stream, is I have seizures. Now, if you see me smoking on stream, you will know that I have been having seizures. And I have been. Now, actually, GH, I make fucking excellent sloppy joes. Just say it. Well, yeah, you can. I mean, I would be an excellent sloppy joe because I can cook damn good sloppy joes. The only store close to me is a dollar store. And so that kind of leaves not many meals that I can make. But one that I can make is sloppy joes. I'll grab a thing of manwich sandwich. Then I'll grab a thing of this salsa. I was eating tacos earlier. Now what I'll do is I will take a bunch of chili powder and I will put into this and then shake it up real good. And then I'll add that to the sloppy joes. Because you know how usually your sloppy joe mix, they don't really have much vegetables in it. But yeah, I'll take a ton of chili powder and I'll put it into the salsa and shake it all up good. And then I'll add that into the sloppy joes. And it adds a whole lot more. And it makes a damn excellent meal. Now, another unique thing that I make, I call it pepperoni helper. And what you do is you take pepperoni and you just boil it for a few minutes and just drain out the grease. And then, the generic lasagna style hamburger helper dinners? You take one of those, you ignore the directions, and you just dump the whole thing on top of the pepperoni. The noodles and the sauce or the powder mix. Then you take your favorite red sauce and then you add to it. And then you just cook it until the noodles start to get tender. And as the noodles are almost tender, you take mozzarella and you put it all over the pot and let it melt. And it is fucking awesome. And I call it pepperoni helper. Like I say, you ignore the directions on the mix and you just throw it on top. And then, like I say, everyone has their favorite red sauce. So whatever your favorite red sauce is, you put that on top and then you just have to heat it up until the noodles are perfect. So, I mean, it's quick too. You can make it within 30 fucking minutes. Huge fucking pot of it you can eat for days. But the other cool thing about it is that it reheats well. You know how a lot of noodle dishes don't reheat well? Well, pepperoni helper does. I mean, for 2 years, see, I mentioned that I have a disability. Well, it's hard to get disability. For 2 years, I lived in a barn with no electricity. And one of the only things that I could get preserved was pepperoni. And that's how I came up with it. Because I'd build a fire outside and I used to keep my food hot all the time. For 2 years, I basically had, unless it was raining, I had a fire going 24/7. Now, when it gets hot weather here, I'll build a fire and cook outside. I mean, I won't heat up the house, Now, a cool thing that I am going to do real soon is I am going to build my own wood pizza oven because I saw someone do it in a video, and I just got to get me a slate rock or two and a few other rocks and a little bit of digging, and I'm going to make my own pizza oven, and I should be able to bake bread in it too. Well, actually, I said I'd be a good sloppy Joe because, as I said, I can make good sloppy Joes. Evidently, you weren't paying attention. Now, actually, I got some nice tips. I mean, there we go. Oh, there we go. Let them be free. And this is the tattoo on my chest. Uh, Funny thing is this shirt's probably older than some of you. I mean, I got this shirt like in 1998. So, yeah, this shirt's like 25 years old. So if you're not 25 years old, my shirt's older than you are. Well, you know what? Apparently your question then didn't come through because YouTube now and then will delete shit all on its own. Because that's your only question that I see in chat. Isn't it right, Zorabelle? Isn't it right? She is a sweetie. And she's Rachella's baby. And her got little tail. And so, honey, so I got little tail. And she's young. She says, I'm going to do, now she's doing her mommy's trick. You doing your mommy's trick, honey? Good girl doing her mommy's trick. What good girl. What good girl. Her mother does that. Normally she doesn't. But she wanted to imitate what her mommy does. Nope. There was only the one in here. But yeah, now see, one thing that my channel will get is a Google moderator now and then. And a Google moderator can delete things that even the creator can't see. Now, if you have a wrench in like a channel, now and then something will disappear mysteriously. And that's Google. And this channel gets heavily censored because people report the fuck out of me. It doesn't get them anywhere, but many times a Google moderator will pop in here. And the people that hate Truthfully Trisha, they've been reporting me to no end. And this is one of the reasons for the live, is because they're trying to say I'm going around and buying views, which I'm not. Now, on my community tab, like this channel, I probably got 500,000 views hidden from lives because I'm playing stuff that has copyright in it or something that if someone wanted to be an asshole, they could strike. And those lives I hide. And I probably got like 500,000 hidden views. So on my tab, I just took a few shots of, my screen on some of these locked lives that no one can see. And it shows that my views are typical. I haven't been doing much YouTube in the last 10 months, since these little cats were born, because I've been more interested in dealing with my life. Now, I'm back to doing YouTube fairly regularly, not like I used to. Used to be there was a video every day and there was 2 to 3 lives a week. Now, we're kind of going back to that slowly, but when you start seeing me pop up in the feed, virtually every day or every other day, you'll know I'm back to my normal doing it. But I'm doing more lives, and that's kind of the purpose of this one. That, and with the new format, as I said, I'm going to try to start doing more fun things. What sucks is some of the fun things, they could be against terms of service, so I'm going to have to be really careful. Just saying. But yeah, I live out here all by my lonesome on 20 acres. A beautiful property. And most of my lives during the nice times of year are all going to be outside with beautiful views and cats running all around. Now, occasionally I'm going to be an ass. I mean, I am an epic troll. You know, once again, now used to be I would have like a big troll every 6 months on YouTube where I would go out and do something funny yet questionable. Hello, Classic. Well, I was late in Trish's too. You know, when you got there, you know, I had showed the pack, but I had to haul cat food today. So, you know, I didn't, it was funny, when I got into Trisha's live, she was working out. And I mean, I was just pouring the fucking sweat. It got 71 here today and hauling that cat food when I got in here. That's why my hair is kind of a mess because, I mean, I just had sweat pouring off of me. And that was weird flipping on, you know, me trying to cool off and flipping immediately on and seeing Trisha right there working at it hard, sweating. Kind of made me want to flip off, you know. It was just, I was trying to get away from being hot and sweaty. But yeah, lately, you know, everyone's going to see me fighting with a lot of people over, truthfully, Trisha, because, I mean, they're fucking nuts. You know, the women that are going after her, they've passed reactors and they've gone to fucking stalkers. Now, the funny thing is you know how mob mentality is? Now, these other creators, they keep saying that Trisha needs to be away from me. I'm not doing anything other than a mod job. Actually, Fiona, it depends on your religion. Catholicism, I think so, as I understand it. Now, I am not a Christian. Now, truthfully, Tricia, she's a Christian. I am not a Christian. I am a pagan. Yep. Yes, I am from a non-Christian denomination. And I don't poo-poo on anybody's religion, and I usually don't talk about religion, but I'm quite educated about religion and could if I really feel like it. Now, interesting thing is, now Grace Thorpe is Catholic, and I'm going to go on her program and debate Catholicism because my ex-girlfriend that was a dominatrix, she was Catholic. And I remember how I said every now and then I'm an epic troll. Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen that night. You don't want to do that. Never go. Now, if you go through my video list, you will find a video with me quoting that says, never go full Chris Chan. No, that's someone on this channel that I'm supposed to be covering. But wow, I'm like 2 or 3 updates behind. And actually, the funny thing is you thought you were being a troll, but you actually reminded me of something that I need to do. Yes, I need to do a Chris Chan video update. I have all the information for it. It's just, once again, where Chris Chan fucking his mother, every time that I sit and think about doing the Chris Chan video, my head falls like this. And then I shake my head like this. And then I do this. I'm not kidding. That little thing I did right there, every time I think about starting doing that video, that is exactly what happens. Well, it depends. Does he have any money? I mean, Now, I will tell you, dude, when the girls are in here, I can't have that kind of talk. Because usually, like during the day, most of my subscribers are actually women. Now, the funny thing is this is something I am trying to change because I think that on my channel, so many of my subscribers being female has turned into I thought it was a good thing, but I've come to the conclusion that women are more evil than men. I may do a video on that. Yes. Yes, I may do a video that basically states that men versus women. And of course, I'm going to take the man side. Well, my father used to hit me as a child. In fact, my head, this side, goes slightly further than it's supposed to. Because my dad would take his fist and go boom right across my head as me as a small child. This was the 1970s. This was a different world. Parents could do that in public back then. But at the point to where, they taught me to use a firearm, I think my father was figuring out that I was planning on killing him. So at that point, he stopped hitting me. Well, actually, I've kind of had a hard day. I mean, I carried a pack, and to be honest, after I carried that pack, I flopped right fucking here, and I haven't moved since. Yep. Yeah, and I've not moved since my hike. And I'm going to do a video later, and I'll clean myself up before it. Now, what about you, Cole? You look like a purple sea. Yep. Now, see, this is one thing that I generally do not allow is someone without a pick to criticize my appearance. Because if you look like a letter, sorry about you. Well, I brushed my teeth today, and no one gets a look at my house because I have had people show up here from the internet to try to attack me. And I have a pistol right over there. And if anybody shows up here, I'm going to send them to Jesus. And then I'm going to laugh as I do it. Yep, because you see, last May, we had a YouTuber, a former professional wrestler, country boy Jimbo Collins, show up here with a gun last May. And he ran away because I had that pistol over there in my hand, and I was going to send him to fucking Jesus. And if you were earlier in this live, you would saw Milton John. I played some of his video, and he's another one that threatens to come and kill me. Yes. So I am quite militant. Put it that way. Well, cool, Nemo. So, Nemo, my address gets spammed in chat all the time. Could you spam my address in chat, please? Could someone spam my address in chat, please? I'm going to see if any of the trolls are here. Well, actually, Cole, you're about 1 second from getting blocked. There you go. I mean, remember how I told everyone it's easy and hard to get blocked here all the time? This was a case of it. Oh, cool. I like being flipped off. I like the one finger that's a different color. I mean, that adds a touch. The one finger of a different color, that shows me that you really cared. Like I say, I have a whole lot more fun than you do. Okay, Matt, you're not going to have me say anything wrong. Well, actually, GH, as long as it doesn't hurt, you don't have a problem. Nope. Yes, as long as there is no pain involved, have at it. Well, Rodney, what about Trump? Piker, I come from the bottom of YouTube. You know, as a community, you would not believe the horrible things that go on and are said at the bottom of YouTube. There is absolutely nothing that you could do to hurt me other than say you love me and be a woman. I mean, that's the only thing that can hurt me is a special someone. And considering that special someone already did that, yeah, it pretty much leaves me bulletproof. Just saying. Well, thank you, Tristan. You know, you can get a whole lot more of me now. This is now how I got on YouTube. I mean, I didn't wake up one day and say, I want to be a YouTuber. Now, most of you probably haven't heard of this person, but her name was Amberlynn Reed. She has a massive channel, and she is massive. She's also a pathological liar and an asshole. And she gained 200 pounds on her weight loss channel. And she is what we would call a lolcow. And because I lived near her, and, you know, she was constantly lying, and I'm like, well, no, this isn't right. She's lying about this. Or this is over here. You know, people asked me to make a channel. And at the time, I was in therapy. And this is the last argument I ever lost. But my therapist said, Roger, I think it's a great idea that you become a YouTuber. And I said, no. And we argued back and forth for an hour. And at the end of that hour, I became a YouTuber. And that's how I got here. But yeah, like now an interesting thing, her old roommates, one of them was a friend of mine. I know Ricky. We used to get high together. He used to live with one of my friends, and he lived with them for about 6 months. And that's how Ricky and I met. So, you know, one of my goals was to get her the hell out of my friend's house. And that was one of the secret things. Now I'm going to tell you all a secret. Yes, I'm going to tell you something that I could have made 100,000 fucking views off of and didn't. Now, Amberlynn Reed had a girlfriend, Becky, and her mother had cancer. Her mother had a boyfriend, and then they had a GoFundMe scandal. And of course, I was supposed to look into it. Wow. And I got an education. Well, looking into it, I thought her boyfriend, her mother's boyfriend, was from Mount Vernon. But no. It turned out it was from a place called Nancy. And it turned out that Becky's stepdad was my friend's meth dealer. And my friend went to jail because he got busted with 26 grams of meth. And it was on front. So it turns out that GoFundMe that was supposed to be for cancer was actually to pay back for the drugs that my friend got when he got busted with. And I mean, it literally tied back to me in an odd way. Now, another interesting thing is this friend, he married one of my cousins on my mother's side. So his daughter is my second cousin. So I stumbled upon a huge conspiracy, but it ended up tying straight into people that mattered about me. So Roger just at that time stopped his investigation, shut his fucking mouth, and I did some videos on something else. But yes, that's one of the interesting, that's the biggest behind the scene thing. Now, I told some YouTubers this, some of them that were investigating it behind the scenes, I said, for your information, this is really what happened. But yes, I tied her to a big scandal, but unfortunately, it tied to someone that could have actually hurt someone that is related to me distantly. Actually, Tristan, this channel is free. I do not monetize any of my channels. Now, this is one reason why my channel's smaller, because I do not get promoted by YouTube for shit, honestly, because this channel is not monetized. I get nothing off of this. This way, my opinions are not financially motivated. Most YouTubers with monetized channels, money will factor into their decisions. This way, by having a channel that I cannot make money off of, I do not have that conflict of interest. Well, thank you, Tristan, but nope, no, I have no cash apps, and I have no super chat because this channel is not monetized. And as I said, I have 0 cash apps. And that makes me one of the few YouTubers, like I'd said earlier. I mean, I kind of got sucked into this. One of my arguments of my therapist is, Roger, you're the most interesting person I ever met. Now, my young half of my life, when I was selling drugs and committing crimes, oh my God, the stories I can tell. And very few of these stories leave me looking in a good light, just saying. I mean, these I made in 1988. These are back from my thug life, my nunchucks. I've made these. There is no metal anywhere in their construction. These will get straight through any metal detector. I took 2 nunchucks. I double drilled them. I cut and sanded this, and this is rappelling line. Because, I've never told YouTube this, but when I was young, I used to rappel. And this is rappelling line. And there's absolutely no metal anywhere in the construction. And like I said, I made these in 1988 when I was 20 years old. So you can do the math. And these sit right over here. Now, one interesting thing that I will do with them is normally, like when I sleep in the master bedroom, they're on my door. They hang on my door. That way, if anything hits that door, those nunchucks will rattle against that door. That way, I use that as an alarm. That way, if those nunchucks rattle, I can reach over there and grab that pistol. Like I say, I have no apps whatsoever. I mean, this is one thing that I do is I make nothing off of YouTube. I don't now I gotta kid. Now, once again, why would I want to name a car for an edit? I mean, people come in and spam that. Now, they spam that in Truthfully Trish's chat all the time. And because I'm a troll and an ass, I usually always just go, you go, and then ban them because it amuses me. Now, for those of you that don't know what Yugo is, There used to be a country called Yugoslavia that doesn't even exist anymore. And they used to make little shitty cars that they would sell in the US called a Yugo. So, like I say, usually when someone says name a car for an edit, I go Yugo and then ban them. So, yeah, like I say, as a troll, that's generally what I do. I'm not going to ban you. But, this is what I generally do when I'm moderating chats and people come in and spam that. So, this is, like I said, I'm an epic troll. Now, I was trying to, remember I said sometimes I can tell stories that don't make me look in a good light? I think I'm going to tell one of them right now. Now, used to be when I did YouTube every day. Now, if I get back to doing YouTube every day, I will have my every 6-month troll. Now, my ex-girlfriend, the one that was a dominatrix, there was a YouTuber called Rich Life of Road Trips. He, at the time, was completely egotistical and hitting on every woman in the universe. So my ex-girlfriend, she was my girlfriend at the time, and she was talking to him and basically getting me all of the dirt that I would ever need on him. And I used to record those conversations. So yeah, now an interesting thing, GH, when I co-host with Grace Thorpe, she calls me King Roger. I don't, but in her community, I am known as King Roger because she wants to be a princess. In one of our agreements, when I'm co-hosting with her, is that I call her princess. So, that's one of the silly things. And God, she's borderline personality disorder to no end. But I see a little bit of me in her, and it makes me sad. And it makes me want to help the girl. Now, this is one funny thing in therapy. My therapist said, Roger, you're not a psychopath. And my first words to her is like, you're fucking up a really good insanity defense. But yes, I am not a psychopath. I mean, it would make my life a whole lot easier if I was. But yes, now that's one funny thing I used to have my therapist just cracking up all the time. Because normally I do a lot more jokes. But, after the whole missing girlfriend thing showing up in my last live, I really ain't been myself, people. I mean, you're kind of seeing me at my C game. I'm not even near my A game because I am a little bit upset. I mean, the woman that I love ghosts me and then just shows up long enough to try to pretend there's a good reason for it all. I mean, so yeah, honestly, like I say, I'm not on my A game. When I'm on my A game, you'll be laughing. Well, actually, that's Cass. Now, Cass comes from my original channel. And Cass can tell you that I did have another channel that was double this size. And I was quite a popular reacting YouTuber. It's just, I don't feel like reacting to large women. I used to cover a lot of Amber Lynn, Foodie Beauty, Cynthia Beaumont, and a bunch of the lolcows. Now, I still cover some of the lolcows here. And as someone reminded me earlier, in their own unique way, I do need to do a Chris Chan vid. And as every time that I think I need to do that Chris Chan vid, my head falls in my hands and I go, oh fucking God. Now, you don't bother Cass in chat because I will have to ban you over that. Because in reality, Cass should have a wrench here. And the only reason why Cass does not have a wrench here right now is because I wish to engage some people when they're being obnoxious. I also plan on giving a little bit more leeway than I normally would. So that's why you're not seeing any blue wrenches in chat. Well, it's okay. Like I say, she's deep in the community. And I've known her for several years and she's been on this channel. And God, I had some crazy mods. I had one named Cyanide Cupcake that completely melted down on me because I mentioned that party girl earlier in the live. Well, GH, honestly, at this point, after my last 3 relationships, I think all women are evil. Honestly, I need to go back to therapy because after the last girlfriend, I'm making joke of it all. I'm laughing at me. If you're wondering who I'm laughing at, I am laughing at myself. And I will stop that in a moment. No, GH. I will ban you first, GC. Now, you better be nice to her because she is probably going to have a wrench at some point. Because you see, the only time that I really need a wrench is when I'm giving a presentation. Because I can't have my full attention on the chat then, or you're getting kicked over by a cat. Excuse me, honey. How about we move you a little bit? Yes, how about we move you? There we go, honey. There you go. Well, like I said, Cass has been here for a lot of them. Now, if anyone wants to, take issue with saying that you didn't have a dominatrix ex-girlfriend, well, Cass can definitely dissuade you of that. In fact, I do have some audio way back on this channel of one of those times that, I used my ex-girlfriend to troll Rich Life. Yeah, see, there's an Annette. Actually, Annette's not done anything that needs banned. Nope, we're not banning Annette. Just saying. There are rules here, and even I follow these rules. Now, spamming my chat with something, that will get you banned. At some point. Well, Tristan, you got 1 minute to think about it. But no, don't harass my chatters. No, you don't do that in my chat. Once again, I'm giving a lot of leeway because usually here I just hide people. But I know you're not meaning, I know you don't mean ill. So, I just dinged you for 60 seconds. But no, don't bother Annette in chat. Now this is a practice katana. This is all wooden. I have some real ones. Now this I can show on YouTube. If I show the real ones, they'd strike me. But this is my practice. Now I am good with a sword. I am epic with a sword. It's why, when people talk about gun control, I say like, you don't really understand what you're talking about when you talk about gun control. Because if they take away guns, I'm about unstoppable. You give me this practice katana right here, and you put me in a world where no one else has a firearm, I can do whatever I want. Now, when I was a teenager, I had a friend that worked in a paint store. And we used to take 3 rulers together and we would make our own practice swords. And we would basically take, we had hundreds of rulers, the big, long 3-foot ones. And we would make practice swords. And when we were young men, we would sit down for hours and hours and hours, smoke pot, drink, and fight with our practice swords. Now, actually, Cheekmate, you got an interesting proposition there. Now, an interesting thing about Roger, I was born in 1968. So I actually have an understanding of what those men were like in their prime. Now, Elvis would have Johnny Cash on size, but Johnny Cash would win. Yes, he would. Even though Johnny Cash was a smaller man, because Johnny Cash had taken severe beatings in his life. And usually that's the one that wins. Someone that can take the most. Hello, Philip. Yep. You know, once again, now Elvis was in the army, but they had him doing shows and shit like that. You know, he was still infantry, but you know, he wasn't doing frontline combat-y style stuff. You know, Johnny Cash came from the wrong side of the tracks. And where you listen to these people now, you know, back then, he was a controversial figure. It's like everyone goes Ozzy now. You know, the young people don't understand that during the 80s, mainstream media hated Ozzy Osbourne beyond your imagination. And there's a lot of these people now that are idolized that back in the day, I mean, you wouldn't believe the shit that was said about them. You know, kind of like the slander that I get here. You know, this is the new thing in the world. Now, that is funny. Now, you got another good one. Marilyn Manson and Ozzy. Now, Marilyn should win, but I'm going with Ozzy. The reason why I don't think Ozzy could feel anything. I think, you know, by now you could probably harm him in any way possible, and he just wouldn't feel it. Now, another interesting thing about YouTube is I have my own album. Now, I produced the album. I did not make the music and I did not make the audio, but I did produce my own lolcow album on YouTube. There is a YouTuber called Adrastia. And there's a lot of shit on, where is, and I took some of her rants and put the music. Come on. I hate the way that they changed this. They made shit hard to find on my list. Yes. Now, Adrastia was a part of a murder. Her real name is Mary Barone. And she gaslit a man named Kenneth McBride into killing a woman named Roberta Laws. Now, this came out on YouTube, the exacts of it, and Adrastia is insane. And I took her insane rants and put them to music that I can use from another YouTuber. There is a Russian creator that makes some really good instrumentals, and when his channel was tinier than my other one was, I used to promote him. So I get to use their own music. And I'm now, Adrastia tried to make a book called I'll Never Stop Screaming. So I made an album for her called I'll Never Stop Screaming. And it's got 12 different songs on it. And you will hear her insanity. I'm just trying to figure out which one to play. I guess we'll go with Kathy 1, because that one's got the most views. It's good music.
abusive and she won. Kathy is abusive. Kathy is abusive. And she won. She won. She won. She won. Nobody's ever going to believe me again because Kathy won. Kathy is abusive and she won. Kathy 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 won. My abusive aunt 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 won. My abusive family has won. My abusive family has won. My abusive family has won. And I have to kill myself because my abusive family won. I have to die because my abusive family won. I have to hurt myself because my family is abusive. And they won. And they want me to hurt myself and they want me to die. And they won. Kathy won. Kathy won. Kathy wants me to die. And she won. Kathy wants me to die. And she won. Kathy wants me to die. And she won. She won. She won. She won. She won. Kathy wants me to die. And she won. Kathy wants me to die. And she won. Kathy wants me to die. And she won. 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 Kathy wants me to die. And 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 she won. Kathy.
Now that's just one. I mean, I've got a whole album of her bullshit, but now the interesting thing is that was not cut together. That was one of her, that was a continuous rant. I just took the rant and I took the music and I fixed it to where, it would fit the music the best. That was the only editing that was done. That rant was continuous. Like I said, I just lined up the two, for the merging. But I mean, that's where, no, because normally it was like, well, you cut that together real well. No, that was literally one giant screaming rant. Now, I like Royce Rage. Now, Royce is a creator that covered her. And I really like this one.
They're going to keep telling me he's not doing anything when he's literally making me miserable, making me want to kill myself every single day that I wake up having to see him laughing at me. He's making me fucking
leaving me does to me, to my mental health. And you're just going to keep standing up for Royce and saying, Royce is fine. Royce paid you. Yeah, he paid me $50, but I want to give it back. And it doesn't matter because he still won't stop. Even if I give him the money back, he won't stop because he wants me dead. If he didn't want me hurt, why is he doing this? Every single morning, why? Why am I waking up to these people laughing at me if they don't hate me? Why am I waking up to these people mocking me if they don't want me to hurt myself? Why were there over 100 messages yesterday saying, show us the blood? If they don't want me to hurt myself, they do. Royce wants me dead, or he would not be doing this to me.
That one personally is my favorite, Royce Rage. Yes, that one, like I said, I created an entire album. I have produced a Drastia medal, and this was one of my. Remember, I say every 6 months I will do a big troll. Now, okay, Ticket Terror. Yes, this song is called Ticket Terror. This one didn't get many views, but it's hilarious because you will find that no matter what happens, Adrastia will say that she must die. And after this, we'll go back to talking.
I'm freaking out. I can't handle this anymore. I just got a ticket for having my tin up. I was just reading a book. All I wanted was a day of shelter. All I wanted was to be inside for a little bit. The police came and I got a ticket, and then while I'm trying to pull up the tent, more police come and they threaten to give me a ticket because I'm not doing it fast enough. I can't do it any better. I was literally struggling to pull everything up when the second set of police came to tell me I had to get it up. What am I supposed to do? If I'm doing what they're telling me to do, if they come and they tell me to do it and I'm already doing it, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? How many tickets are they going to give me before I'm able to get everything together? It only takes about 30 minutes. How many cops can come by and give me tickets while I'm trying to pull the tent up? And why can't they see that I'm doing it, that I'm working on it, that I'm trying? He's doing it now, but I was doing it before the second set of police came. I was doing it by myself, trying all of the shit on the cart I had to take out of the tent, fold it up, bag it up, put it on the cart while the police were staring at me, making me feel like I was a criminal just for wanting to have shelter for a little bit. I'm so tired of life. I have to go to court in March, and right now I'm planning on killing myself before that court date because I can't. I obviously can't pay a fine because I don't have any money, and I can't go to jail because that would exacerbate my PTSD. That's the reason I can't go to a shelter, because of my PTSD, because I can't be locked in. You're locked in jail, which means that I have to kill myself because jail's the only option for this. I can't pay a fine. I'm homeless. I'm never going to have the kind of money that the police charge for existing. I have 3 months to live. I was informed by the police today that I have 3 months to live. And during those 3 months, I must be outdoors at all times, where men can come and touch me and do whatever they want. Because that's the law when you're a homeless woman. If you're indoors at all, you'll be fined and put in jail. They're never gonna stop harassing me. They're never gonna leave me alone. I have 3 months to live. Because I can't go to jail. 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 Probably my birthday would be the best time. Why not? That's the day my life ended to begin with. That's the day the murder happened. It happened on my birthday. So why shouldn't my death also be on that day? It's only a couple of weeks before the court date. I can't handle anything anymore. I can't do this. I can't go to jail. I can't go to jail.
Yes,
And I can't afford a fight.
but that woman,
I
Adrastia.
barely afford to live.
Now, as you can see from the songs, everything and every reason for her is a reason to unalive herself. Now, she was involved in the murder of Roberta Laws. She, for years, came out with stories, her version of the stories. Well, another YouTuber went and got the court transcripts, and she knew about the murder all the time. She instigated the murder, but she testified against the guy, and she got off. I mean, that Adrastia, the one crying, she is a slam dunk murderer and got away with it. And of course, the internet being forever will not let her forget about it. So her solution, cry and gaslight self-harm. So I took it to music and I created an entire album called Adrastia Metal. So I shall make another. In fact, I already got 2 songs for it, and I've got all of the audio, and I just really have to line it up and make it. And I will make her next album called I'll Never Stop Screaming 2. So yes, this is something that I do every now and then is I will troll. And as I said, to troll this other creator, I created an entire album for them. And they didn't even thank me. Now, YouTube likes it. Don't really get that many views on it. But, that is content that YouTube does seem to like, music. Now, I also play characters on YouTube. You've not seen a character here, but I play Grimgoth the Dark Elf. And he even has his own channel. And typically I use a camera trick for him. Now I have a tablet here with some pictures on it that I normally show. And I checked it while the music was on. And unfortunately it's dead, or I would have some visuals to show you of my different characters. I play a female character called Verily Veronica. And believe it or not, I clean up well. And I also play another one called Alfarius. And he's a horseman of the apocalypse. Oh. And this is his mask. Now, Alfarius is batshit insane. I'm doing my hair for Alfarius. He's the easy character to get into. I do have my own island. And in fact, on my vlog channel, I'm going to film that. But I am now Alfarius Kane, horseman of the apocalypse, And why I am here, I have absolutely no idea. But Alfarius is batshit insane. Because one of the qualities of war is insanity. So when I made a character based on the horsemen of the apocalypse of war, I decided it has to be happy because it likes its job, and war is the definition of insanity. So the character has to be batshit insane. Now, I have in the barn and the loft, I have a shooting area for a studio. And I have a handful of stuffed creatures that he talks to. And one of the things that he has is a stuffed horse. And as Alfarius, I will talk to these stuffed creatures like they are real living things. It's pretty batshit insane. It is ludicrous funny. But he is my least popular character. Most people like Verily Veronica. And this is Zorabelle. Aren't you, honey? What's the baby? Her the little one. Says I'm laying. And she's just hanging out my arms. Aren't you? So I'm hanging out in your arms. She says I am. Don't you, baby? Oh, yes. And she's 10 months old and still tiny. Aren't you, honey? So, can I put you down now? She's like, no, I sit here. Okay, you want down now? Okay, we'll put you down, Jenny. There you go. Sit you next to your mother. Well, take care, Butter. Well, well, like I say, Kentucky, it's pretty easy to get tail around here. Just saying. This is a different place than what you're used to. Technically, this is Appalachia. I mean, some of the places around here you would be astounded at. Well, actually, XX, maybe I am under evil spell. I am a pagan. As I mentioned in my background earlier on this, I am not a Christian and I am a pagan. So maybe I am under an evil spell. Now, I do not have it in this room, but I do have a Necronomicon. Now, I have had, now, if you've been here for the entire one, you remember Melton John. Besides being fake trans, Melton John is also an evil sorcerer, and he casts spells on me. That wasn't a joke, by the way. I mean, it sounds like a joke, and normally it would be a joke on any other channel, but no, evil trans Melton John casts evil spells on me. So I cast evil spells back at Melton John. And I actually have some rare books. And one of the things that I have is a 3rd edition Necronomicon with, well, the run was limited to 3,333 copies. And it's on a few videos on this channel, and it's put up in the other room. But yes, I do have a Necronomicon, a real one. All big black books, silver letters, the Cthulhu's inside type shit. Yes, it's all there. Well, actually, I'm more of a Gwar guy. Once again, I'm a little bit older than I look. So, when I was younger, corn wasn't even a thing. We listened to more Gwar. And I sing well, though I've not sung in lately. But someone on my other channel, I used to sing on my other channel now and then because a few subscribers would ask. And the first time they ask, I'm like, oh my God, I never realized how much horrible shit that I used to sing. But it was usually because the song was a Gwar song. Well, thing is so how do you know that some of these girls in chats are not evil sorceresses? Now, I do play Grimgoth the Dark Elf, and he is an evil sorcerer. Let me pull my chat down for just a second. Shit. Where my hands tremble a little bit, and evidently my conditions bother me a little bit. I'm having trouble putting something in. That usually means I'm going to have a seizure. Just a minute, everybody. My head, because I do have a disability, and my head just went swoom, swoom, swoom. I mean, I just went around and around and around. I just did a fucking roller coaster ride. That sucks, by the way. Just to tell you, yeah, that sucks.
He's been wondering about your human holidays. I understand this Memorial Day. I understand this Labor Day. But this Christmas thing, it just absolutely is beyond me. I mean, you're trying to tell me that during the darkest, bleakest part of the year, you take your wealth, buy extravagant things, and then give to each other. Give? I mean, we don't even have that in our language as a dark elf. Now, take, we have like 582 words for take, and about 64 for grab, and we got about 1,042 of you're shit out of fucking luck. But this whole Christmas thing, Grimgoth at this point, I think you guys are just trolling me. But until next time, it has been I, Grimgoth.
And that is me. That is something that I do on another small comedy channel. Gotta pull myself out of there. But yes, I am Grimgoth the Dark Elf, and he is one of my characters. And that is my comedy channel, Grimgoth the Dark Elf. It doesn't have many subscribers, but now and then Grimgoth will do videos on this channel. When I want to make fun of someone in the drama community. But yes, that's one of my characters I play on another channel. Like I say, I have a variety of channels that I do different things. That's one reason why I would like to attract more of a mainstream audience here, because on my smaller channels that I do other things, many normal type viewers would be interested in those. And that is my comedy channel, Grimgoth the Dark Elf. And I've not been posting on it because with the whole relationship and breakup thing, I've not been in the mood to do funny. Well, actually, Harper, I'm about to give Cass a wrench over here and let her start cleaning house. Just saying. It's just I'm trying to let new people today be a little more tolerant. Now, typically, I'm pretty intolerant. Just saying. But I am going to let a little people have fun. But no, people are not going to harass chatters. You know what I mean? If you harass chatters, I'll have to ban you. And I won't say that again. I will just start banning people. Just saying. Well, Now, let me take about nice. Now, the sin on YouTube is being uninteresting. Honestly, most people try to think of good and bad. on YouTube, the sin is being uninteresting. Never forget that. I mean, that's one of like the secret lessons of YouTube that doesn't get spread around. But that is the key to YouTube's success. You don't got to be nice. You just have to be interesting. I mean, well, like I said, I'm being cool because that's why I have this on, portrait mode, because I want to meet new people. I want people to come in and get a chance to cut up and have some fun. But, I do have to make sure that everyone does respect each other's spaces. And that's why I always say it's hard to get banned here, and it's easy. Like I say, it's hard and easy at the same time. Now, as I say, I am an epic troll. So I have to balance that. I think about me sitting on your side. This is where my therapist proved to me that I'm not a psychopath, because I can be empathetic to you on your side of the ball. Now, once again, I have to worry about my side of the ball. So when it interferes with other chatters, or I feel it's to the point of not just one little jab, I have to ask for it to stop. And if not, I say, did I stutter? And just start finger dinging. I wish I was smoking crack. I mean, that'd be pretty cool, smoking crack. No, I'm teasing, but no, actually, I'm smoking weed. Yep, that's what I'm doing. Now, an interesting thing here. If you know anything about music, enough light there. It's Eddie. If anyone listens to Iron Maiden, there's a mascot named Eddie. And this is Bull Eddie. Yes, and I got this in 1986. It's a little bit worn, but yes, this is Eddie from Iron Maiden. And that's what I smoke out of. That's a little Roger fact. It's lived off of like 3 different pipe stems since then. But yes, that's Eddie from Iron Maiden into a clay pipe. But yes, that's what I smoke out of. And the only drug that I do is weed. Yep, for those that wish, because I have seizures. And it helps with my seizures. In fact, if you subscribe to this channel, you can tell if I've been having seizures or not by do I smoke on camera. Because normally I don't. But when I've been having seizures and my condition might be, you will see me smoke on camera then. And that's kind of how you can tell as a Roger subscriber. Is there a chance that Roger is going to go into a full-blown seizure on camera? And that's one of the reasons why I'm smoking, because I would rather not go into a full-blown seizure on camera. And I'm horribly allergic to my cats at this point. We just got 2 of them in here, Richella and her baby. The rest of them I kind of ushered out of the room. Now, I am glad that some new people came in, and subscribe if you like. I don't make a big deal about it. But yes, subscribe if you like, and we'll get into some dumbassery at some point. Now, actually, I am in a 3-bedroom trailer home. A modern 3-bedroom trailer home. And this is the small bedroom. And this is a game room. I got a TV and a game unit over there, and I've got all my heater up here and all the shit that I need to cook here too. A toaster oven, a crock pot, and a hot plate. That way I never have to come out of my warm room during the winter. but it's spring-like here today. Hello, Michelle. Hope now it's 2 a.m. here. Well, because it's 3-bedroom, 2-bath, it has surround sound, it has central heat and central air. So yeah, and it was made this century. Now, my other trailer, it is a 1974. Yep. I mean, that thing was made when I was 6 years old. There is no traditional house. Now, I've got a barn with 5 giant sheds and a massive loft that is set up like an apartment. And I've got that set up as a shooting studio. And on some of my channels, I use backgrounds over there. I've got like 3 different backgrounds, and I can just like hop between channel to channel if I feel like it. Ryan, I own my own farm. And I'm on government disability. And if you were here for the whole thing, people offered me money and I told them I have no cash apps. And I do not monetize any YouTube channel because then money is never a factor in what I do or say. Nice try, though. Now, I got to say, it is, a good assumption, but I don't do this for money. Nope. I do this because women made me do it. And if you were here for the entire live, you would understand that statement, but I'm not going to go on the how I got here train again. You'll have to subscribe and watch the live later, and you'll find out how I got on fucking YouTube. And I still at times wonder how I get here, but I explain it and listen to myself, and it's like, wow, I wish that was made up. I live in Kentucky, in Appalachia. I mean, it is so utterly dirt poor here. Very few people have jobs. Someone with a job around here is a rare thing. But you see, for 30 years, we have had all these wonderful people from Mexico that were filtered up here. And we had 30 years of our community being destroyed. So, where most other of the country is just getting it, we are the final result of it. And as I said, there is just about no jobs around here. I am a farmer. And at this point, I mainly farm food for me. Well, Infinity, you are not far from where I am then. My mother was born in Daniel Boone National Forest. And that's where she grew up. My mother's side of the family, that's where they all came from. So yes, my mother grew up inside of the National Forest. Yes, Classic, at one time, there was a ancient old farmhouse here before I owned the property. Now, an interesting thing. Now, where you say president, now, I haven't done anything for it this year, but usually I run for president. And because basically there's people that don't want to vote for either party or either candidate, so they usually vote for me. And last election, I got 44 votes. Now, the one before that, I got 43. So I voted for myself both times. And that's where funny is like, you're a Trumper, you're this. I'm like, I didn't vote for either of them. I voted for myself. I don't tell them that. I'm like, and what makes you think that I voted for Trump or voted for Biden? But like I say, normally on my channels, we have a campaign and I get voted for. Well, KD, my next live will be a lot more heavily moderated. Now, my device has gone onto its warning, so we are almost out of power. So, hello, Take Today. Well, Take Today, my device is dying. This live will be posted if you want to go back to the beginning. And if you came in later, if you want to know a lot of the things about me and some of the things that I said I already addressed, go back and watch it from the beginning. But yes, I have to get off of here right now because this device is about to die. And my kitty's getting in the way. And this is Zorabelle. And her is your sweetie. You say goodbye, Zorabelle? You say goodbye to him? You say goodbye, YouTube people? Wave, YouTube people. Wave the YouTube people. She says to hell with the YouTube people. So yes, the cat has said to hell with the YouTube people. But thank you, YouTube people, for coming. And if you want to hear me bullshit more, subscribe. And my next one will have little topics and some other stuff. But I just wanted to have a chit chat and get to meet some new people and kind of because, people are like, I didn't know the rules were this. So, this way I get to meet you guys, kind of, let you understand how this works, the ground rules. And I'm going to try to find some more interesting content rather than drama people. But every now and then you will see me talk about some of the dumbest, weirdest people that have ever existed. Now, thank you for coming, and I will be having another live soon. We're going to have some really good weather here, so I'm going to have an outside live when it's not raining. I was going to do it tomorrow, but we're having some rain. So in between the rain, when it's nice and beautiful, I'm just going to pop up at random. Now, thank you for coming, and it's good to meet you all, and have a good night.